watching. You are watching.
You're watching. You guys are watching.
You're watching. Watching Soulful Discussion.
All right, so hi, how you doing today?
Hey.
And how did our paths cross today? How did you and I just meet right now?
I was just walking by right here on my nightly walk.
Yeah, absolutely, right along the pier, right here.
Yeah.
And I approached you. What did I approach you about?
You wanted to interview me on your YouTube channel.
Okay, and what are the 3 subjects I did?
Man, you gotta call me out.
I do it to
So I
everybody.
forgot the acronym, but
Okay.
we're talking about feet and reflexology and my feelings towards it.
Yeah, and mental health as well.
And
yeah.
mental health.
Cool. In terms of like when you heard the subject, what were the thoughts that went through your mind?
Fetish, maybe?
Okay. So that was the first thing that.
When you just say the one word without
Okay.
any context
Context behind
it could
it?
be. Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
So we're gonna talk a little bit about it today. I'm gonna get your feelings and your thoughts about how you feel about it, and then we'll go from there. Okay.
Sure.
What about mental health? Any topics you kind of research closely? Maybe you have like you strongly invested in or anything like that?
I mean, not particularly. I personally not necessarily suffer from anything, but I do see a therapist for, like OCD type of overthinking.
Okay.
I know we talked about it a little bit. I think a lot of us just tend to overthink things and
Yeah.
stress out a lot about, the pressures we have from society. So
It's a big one. It was a big one for me. Like it
Yeah.
still is in some ways, but I feel like I've gotten better since like kind of learning a little bit more about it. So it's me practicing it every day. But I'm gonna talk a little bit about it, and then we'll get your thoughts about it. Okay? Because today we're gonna talk about like the effects of social media and how it can affect depression and anxiety and things like that.
Sure.
Cool. What about reflexology? You said you're a little familiar with it.
Yeah, so I used to actually work at a massage clinic
Oh, sweet.
where we did, for like 10 years. I wasn't a masseuse myself, but
Oh, sweet.
I done a lot of,
Yeah.
massages or hiring therapists. So reflexology is the type of massage that we have offered.
That's dope.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm gonna really be intrigued to like get your thoughts about that once we get there.
You
Cool.
approached the right person here.
Yeah, absolutely,
I kinda know my
absolutely.
stuff.
So let's go ahead and get started with the questions, okay?
Sure.
What are your thoughts about how the world is starting to become like more aware of mental health and what we're starting to do about it?
I mean, I think it's great. I think a lot of people are not comfortable talking about it. And, especially with the pandemic, it has definitely become more of kind of a forefront issue.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's great. I think more people need to feel comfortable talking about it, more comfortable getting help, like myself. I, for a long time, felt like it's a weakness to go talk to somebody about it. And now it changed my life in such a positive way.
That's dope.
So.
Absolutely. I think it's a really big thing. Hopefully, we continue to make progress towards that to really get to the root causes of what a lot of people tend to deal with. I think that's going to be really great. In terms of social media, right? How do you use social media, and then what are your thoughts about social media as a whole?
I spend a lot of time on Instagram. That's my main kind of social media outlet. I don't really consume TikTok. I'm not on Twitter, but Instagram is definitely my kind of go-to, and I use it for mainly inspiration. I do a lot of traveling content myself, but also finding other influencers or people that are kind of
like-minded.
Yeah, exactly. So I personally don't feel any kind of pressure to be a certain person, or I treat it pretty normally. It's just hey, another source of information. I look at it as modern advertisement, better than watching commercials on TV.
Absolutely.
So yeah.
Cool. If there was one thing you could change about social media, right, what would you change?
I'm not sure. I think right now it's changing already a lot, right? As to before, it was, more just like a, place to, stay in touch with people. And now it's more so about, advertisement, as I said, which, for some people definitely could bring a lot of, social pressure, especially for younger generation. I think it's changing and evolving as we speak, and it's not quite yet what it's going to be.
The finished product.
So it's constantly evolving. So I don't know. Right now, I'm actually not really into video or reel formats. So I hope it goes back to more just photo.
The photos,
But I don't see it happening, honestly. I just don't know.
Yeah, you have so many people who watch videos and stuff, so I think that's a big thing.
Yeah, yeah.
So in terms of some things that bring you anxiety, you don't have to go too deep, but like maybe more surface level, what are some things that kind of make you uneasy?
Specifically in social media or just in life
in general? Yeah.
Well, since doing therapy, not as much, but I would say work. You know, just living in the United States, like corporate America. You know, my job is very intense, and you know, I spend a lot of time stressing out about that. But
I think that's a big one that I hear from a lot of like the women who I'm talking to. Like a lot of them like work, the future, things like that, uncertainty. Like
it's for me. It's more like, you know, there's not like once you achieve a certain level of success, it's just never enough. It just
it's like what's the next thing to do?
Yeah, it's always like it's just never like you're just never content with what you have now, and it's always like what's next, and that's just like I think problem in society or in you know in this country.
Absolutely.
But you know.
Cool. So let's get into these questions. I'm intrigued to see how you feel about this.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts about your feet? How do you feel about your feet?
I love my feet.
Okay. All right.
Other than the fact that they're huge and they're like size 10 is a pretty you know, big foot for a girl, but I'm also very tall. So
you're like about 5'8", 5'9".
I'm 5'9", so you know,
so that's in proportion, like with you.
It's proportion, but like if you want to wear heels like other girls, it becomes a problem. Like you become really
taller than everybody else. Yeah.
So I think that's the only thing. It's just like shoe shopping. I also have I'm very flat-footed.
Okay.
So as a kid, I was struggling with, you know, I don't know what the medical term is for it, but the flat-footedness or whatever. It's, you know, could give you back problems and stuff.
Did you have to wear like orthotics or anything like that for your shoes?
Yeah. And I kind of corrected that when I was younger, but now I wear so many flats that are just not really good for my feet. So.
But it's more comfort, probably. I'm pretty sure, like it's just an easier thing to like put on in the morning or whatever.
I think later on in life it's gonna become a real problem, but right now it's all right.
Yeah, absolutely. So, in terms of like you said, you feel good about your feet. Have you ever received any compliments before about your feet?
No.
Okay. All right. So never, not one that you can think of.
Not really. No.
If you did receive a compliment, how would it make you feel?
Fine, I guess.
Okay.
I mean. You know.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, because compliments are designed to make us feel good, right? And I know it's not one of the more common compliments that you can get, but anyway.
Yeah.
What are some things you do like to be complimented about? Like, if somebody's going to give you a compliment, what would you prefer for it to be about?
Oh, gosh. Well, I love when people say they love my hair because I do struggle with very, like, you know, thin hair or not like traditional beautiful hair. So anytime someone compliments me on my hair, I'm like, all right,
yeah,
you know. Or you know, my eyelash is another thing that like, you know, I need help in that department, so I significantly invest in it. So anytime someone notices, it's great. I think anything that you invest money on, you know, and I think I would probably get more compliments on my feet if I was wearing better shoes. But since I'm not a shoe person, I don't get.
I can see that.
Yeah.
All right. In terms of like if you're potentially dating somebody or you were going to start dating somebody, right? What is something that you would consider to be a deal breaker? Like something like you're like, nah, I'm good.
By the way, I'm married, but
if I was,
sorry. No, it's okay. I mean, I think probably height.
Okay.
Like
all right.
a significant height.
Yeah.
You know, like not having a sense of humor. You know.
That's a big one. Yeah.
And I think just, you know, I'm typically not drawn towards men who are like, too flirty or too kind of have a wandering eye or whatever. Yeah, that kind of turns me off for sure. You know.
Got it. All right. How often do you get pedicures?
Huh?
How often do you get pedicures?
Oh, every 3 weeks.
Do you use gel pedicures or?
Sometimes, you know, on feet it just tends to last too long, so it just depends. Lately, I have been actually.
Okay.
You know.
All right. Cool.
So.
Have you ever heard of a medical pedicure before?
No.
Yeah. So medical pedicures are when you go see a podiatrist, so like a specialist of the foot.
Yes.
They'll take a look at your feet and they'll look at your toe alignment to make sure it's correct. Your toenails to make sure like it's growing the right way. A lot of people don't know when you go to like get the cosmetic ones, like sometimes they don't know how to cut your nails.
Yeah.
That's how people end up with ingrown toenails and things like that.
Yeah.
So like they know exactly like the grain is supposed to be cut in, check your toes. They check for like dead skin, fungus. They do all the work there with medical grade equipment. What are your thoughts on seeing somebody like that as opposed to like cosmetic ones?
I mean, I think it's cool, especially if you have that problem.
Yeah.
I don't personally, but you know, like my husband or some people in his family, like grandparents and stuff, definitely could have benefited from that, like all their life.
You can take this information to them, though, maybe help them out. Maybe a birthday present or something like that.
Maybe, yeah. I definitely feel like a lot of people have issue with taking care of.
Yeah,
their, like,
it's a big one, man.
Yeah.
It's a big one. Yeah.
Yeah.
We overlook it. And how often do you wear open-toe shoes, sandals, flip-flops, things like that?
I would say probably 80% of the time.
Okay. All right. So you tend to
I like to just slip on and
go. Easier to go, right? All right. How often do you go barefoot, no shoes?
Probably just when I'm on vacation or at home. I don't wear really any kind of shoes at home. Actually, I have a very specific rule to take your shoes off.
It's a big one, and a lot of people don't know about this. I was watching another guy's channel, and he was talking about how a lot of people don't know, like when you take your shoes from outside and bring them inside, just the different bacteria and stuff that you can like drag around your house. And so when I had my apartment, that was one of the bigger things I did. Like, hey, you gotta take your shoes off at the door.
In most countries, they have like a separate room. You leave your shoes on, and then you carry on.
Exactly.
But again, U.S. people just walk in, and that's if someone comes to my house and they don't take their shoes off, I look at them very funny. I try not to force to take them off, but at least I give them
at the same time. It's like I need you to.
I'll give them some slippers. Like, here are your slippers. So
that's a good one. That's a good one. All right, so now can we see what you're feeling about the clothes? Is that cool?
Sure,
right,
sure.
Cool.
I knew this was coming.
And these are size 10s. You said you have.
Yeah.
Leave your size 10.
Okay. I didn't know if you wanted me to.
It's okay.
Sorry.
And can you take the other one off too?
Sure. Do you want me to leave the sock on?
Yeah, and then let me just get you to like. I just want to kind of get the outline of them for a minute.
Sure.
You said size 10. And if I'm looking at your toes correctly, is your second toe longer? Or is your
It is.
Okay, so you have what's the Greek?
I have like those weird, really long toes.
Yeah, it's the Greek toe alignment.
Really?
So,
okay.
Yeah, if your bigger toe is bigger, it's the Egyptian. So that you have the Greek toe alignment. Okay.
Oh, that's good to know.
Let me get you to extend down. Let's see the bottoms real quick.
Okay.
All right. Cool.
See how flat it is?
Yeah, I mean, it's just a tad little bit there, but yeah, it's pretty flat. All right, let me get you to take the other side off. Cool. All right, so how are you feeling? We're going through this interview. I'm asking you some questions. We're looking at your feet. What are your thoughts right now?
I'm learning.
Okay. All right. Learning, new experience, a little bit different.
Yeah. So far, it hasn't been creepy.
Okay.
So,
I appreciate that. There it is. That's a good thing. That's a good thing. I'm doing something right then. So in terms of because the interview, sometimes I do interview people who get a little bit uncomfortable.
Yeah.
When we get to this portion, but you seem to. I would think I would consider you somebody who's more of an open person. If I'm not.
I am. I'm pretty open. Yeah.
So you're open to new experiences and things like that. In terms of when you're presented with situations that you're not expecting, right? You didn't expect me to walk up today. Like you said, I'm just doing my walk, whatever like that. How do you deal with those situations when you approach with it?
Man, honestly, it happens a lot, and most of them are really creepy.
Okay.
So I'm just saying you're not, you don't have a creepy vibe. So
appreciate that.
Generally, I just don't even, I don't respond or try to start the conversation, because once you starting the conversation, it's out of politeness, you might get riled into signing up for something, give you a credit card. I don't do that, but generally it's just easy to just keep walking.
Absolutely.
Whatever. But again, you had a microphone, and I checked out your YouTube channel.
Appreciate that.
You check out, so I'm like, okay.
Yeah, appreciate that. Let's talk about reflexology, because you said you're familiar with it, and I like the fact that you're a masseuse. So reflexology deals with the different pressure points you have in your hands and your feet, right?
Mm-hmm.
They connect to these different parts of your body, right?
Yeah.
And by applying pressure, massaging these different areas, you can actually alleviate stress and tension to these various parts, and it's called zone therapy, right?
Mm-hmm.
First of all, I want to get what your thoughts are. Did you ever do anything like that? What were your feelings if you did do it? The difference that you felt before you went in and when you came out?
Yeah, no, I've definitely done reflexology several times. Typically, I would do deep tissue and stuff, but reflexology can help you with very targeted issue, because also, I believe it's Chinese medicine. Correct me if I'm wrong, but every point, and I don't remember which one is which, so don't quiz me on that. But each point is connected to a certain organ, liver, whatever. So definitely, have had reflexology with specific therapists that specialize in that. And by the way, I'm not a therapist. I was just a front desk person, but I definitely felt the difference. Or felt hey, if I'm treating whatever upset stomach, reflexology could help with that, you know?
That's great.
And makes you feel better afterwards.
Absolutely. So yeah,
Yeah.
I go out and I give this. A lot of people don't know, like, sometimes there's ways to deal with these different things that you may be dealing with just by like applying like a little pressure to this area right here. So yeah, I like to go out and give this information, like to help people with that from a more holistic standpoint.
Yeah.
Exactly. So with that being said, we're in reflexology, right? How ticklish do you tend to be?
I would say fairly ticklish.
Okay, so
not like you
not
know,
crazy.
extremely, but during pedicures, it's like that kind of uncomfortable moment.
Okay.
You know, kind of like, oh my god.
All right, so now I have a trick for you that may be helpful to you. Do you mind if we test it on camera to check it out?
Sure.
Cool?
Yeah.
Cool. All right, I'm going to start with your right foot. Can I get you to scoot just a little bit closer? All right, I'm going to start with the right one, and I'm going to work my way from bottom to top.
Okay.
Why don't you tell me where it's most sensitive at, and then which foot is most sensitive, okay?
Okay.
So, 1, 2, 3, and anything? I don't
mean,
think this one is
a little bit, but like not enough to like for me to say.
To
oh
like
my
move
gosh,
anything.
yeah.
Okay. Let's check your left.
Yeah.
Tell me if this one is more sensitive than this one is.
Okay.
Okay. All right. 1, 2, 3. And...
No, it's about
This
the
one
same.
is-
I think it's also because my feet are cold right
Okay.
now, so I don't
That's
feel
part-
it
that's
as
part of
much.
it?
Yeah.
I want you to try something and tell me if it's less sensitive when I first did it. Okay.
Wiggle
your toes. Just wiggle here. Do you feel it less or more?
Yeah, I think it's less. Yeah.
Okay. Do you know why?
Why?
So your foot's in motion. Your muscles are moving.
Oh,
So like
okay.
while it's happening, it can't pick up on that sensation. So you go get your pedicures and they're doing that. If you start to feel ticklish, your toes a little
I'll
wiggle
go
and
on
it'll help you out.
Wednesday. I wanna
There it
try it. There you
Let's
go.
try this one. Wiggle here
Okay.
and then less, right?
Yeah,
All
for
right.
sure.
There it is.
Works.
Let me
There
get
go.
you to test, do a couple of like movements, and this is to test like dexterity and flexibility to see if like you're good there. Okay.
Okay.
Let me get you to bend your toes, make a fist. Tell me if you feel pain or discomfort while you're doing it. Is it easy to do? Hard to do? No pain?
Pretty easy unless I hold it for too long. I feel a lot
A
in
little
this
cramp?
toe. In
Okay.
this toe.
Do you do any of these movements like while you're at home? Like just
Sometimes,
Okay,
yeah. I'm
sometimes.
like, you know, I'm a person that picks up stuff with my feet a
Okay.
lot. I
All
have
right.
monkey feet
all right?
because I have long toes.
Let me get you to spread your toes and tell me if you feel pain or discomfort while you're doing that. Yeah, you got a good spread there.
Yeah.
Pain or discomfort while you're doing that?
Mm-mm.
Okay, relax. Wiggle your toes for about 10 seconds. Tell me if you feel any pain or discomfort while you're doing
Like
it.
this?
Yeah. Is it the same thing? Are you feeling any like cramping here?
No, not
No?
as much.
Not
Only
as
when
much.
we're
Only when
making
you're holding it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Only on this
Now,
side.
here's a trick for you with that could be helpful. Take a golf ball or a tennis ball, right? And just roll your foot across it. It'll
Yeah.
like loosen up those like tendons, those muscles there, so that you don't feel that. And you just practice those movements sometimes at home. So
Yeah.
that could be really helpful for you.
You know, I've done that in the past. Like several years ago, I had like this unexplained pain in the middle of my foot, this one, and it was like literally hurt to step on it. And I did that and it went away.
It went away, yeah. It
But I
helps
was
out.
close to going to a podiatrist because it like lasted for weeks.
Yeah, you're like, man, let me
Yeah.
go. All right.
Yeah.
So let's wrap up the interview now.
Uh-huh.
In terms of my approach, like coming up to you, asking you to do
You want
the
me to
interview.
put my feet away?
Yeah, you're good. You're
Okay,
good. You're
okay,
good.
Okay, I'm gonna put my socks on.
Yeah, you're good. You're good. In terms of the interview from start to finish, well, I'm sorry, before that, in terms of my approach,
Yeah.
was it good? Was it bad? What were your thoughts about my approach when I came up to you?
No, I think it was good. Like I told you, I typically wouldn't do those kinds of things.
Okay.
So you know, you seem to be a genuine guy.
Thank you. Definitely appreciate that. Now, in
Yeah.
terms of the interview from
Not
start
too
to
pushy.
finish, yeah, thank you. In terms of the interview from start to finish, did you see how everything was going in a line? Did it make sense to you? Did you learn anything new?
Yeah, I definitely learned something new.
Okay.
The tickling part and
Medical
there was something
pedicures?
else. Yes, medical pedicures.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Some new information there.
Yeah.
Absolutely. The last thing I'll ask, from a mental health standpoint, maybe a life lesson you learned, some wise words that somebody once said to you that you could say to my channel that could be helpful?
Gosh.
You're like,
It's a
I'm
good
being
one.
put on the spot.
No, it's a good one. I gotta really think about it because.
No, feel free. I can always like edit out or anything like that, so feel free to take your time.
Yeah, and can you just repeat the question? I know what
So
it is,
in
but I
terms
just-
of mental health, right? Any life lessons you learned, some wise words somebody once said to you that you could say to my channel that could be helpful?
Yeah. I mean, from personal experience, I would say, you know, definitely, even if you don't think you need to talk to somebody, I feel like anyone could benefit from it. So I really do think, like, invest in that being, like, a, you know, part of your routine.
Yeah.
Whether it's like, hey, I'm talking to someone once a quarter, once a month. And it helps if it's not like a friend.
Yes.
It's someone completely from the outside. Because again, when I first started therapy, it seemed very kind of like, I don't know what I'm getting from this. I can't believe, you know, I'm paying whatever, $100 an hour for this, even though I have insurance. But like, you know, later on though, it made me stop like overthinking things. It
Yeah.
definitely made everything in my life more positive. My relationships, you know,
like
my
that.
outlook on work. So I constantly can't recommend it enough.
I like that.
People do need to,
talk to somebody, right? Get some like guidance from somebody who could be helpful, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I thank you so much. Thank
Yeah.
you so much.
Yeah,
and
you're
we hope that
welcome.
you have a great one, okay?
Cool. When does this air?